Hello everybody and welcome back for another episode of Honey Nutters and Gorilla Maskers. I am Rockley Smile here with AlpacaPatrol, Green9090, and a surprise BaerTaffy who we didn't expect to come and show up, but here he is. We're happy he's
Best
here.
kind of BaerTaffy is a surprise BaerTaffy.
Bear.
Yeah.
It's full on.
Yeah,
coming.
I was saying before the episode that like this is the only time in which only situation in which a surprise bear is a positive thing. And
Yeah, usually. You don't
Yeah.
want to get like snuck up on a campsite. They're not really that stealthy though, I don't think, as a creature.
They're pretty stealthy. They can
Really?
be. If
I
they
had
want
one
to.
almost fucking jack my shit, man. It was terrifying. I was
Like he
hiking.
didn't even try to confront you. He was just trying to sneakily steal your
yeah, he was gonna
stuff.
steal my stuff in my wallet.
Did you
No,
have a picnic basket?
I didn't have like any food actually. Maybe I had a water bottle and like a little backpack with a bunch of stupid camping stuff, but it wasn't any kind of food. But so this like mama bear came flying down a hill with its cub in the middle of the woods, like 15 miles away from any civilization, and I ended up right in between the mama bear and the cub, which is like the worst thing that can possibly
God, yeah,
happen.
you should be dead.
Yeah. Yeah, so my only defense at that point was, because I didn't have any pepper spray, I was being a real dumbass, I just held up the walking stick I had over my head and fucking screamed as loud as I could at it. And
That's what you're
thankfully,
supposed to do.
it took the appropriate response in being scared of loud sounds and kind of shuddered and kind of backed up a little bit, and then that gave the cub time to back away from the situation, and then I was able to just kind of sneak out.
How the fuck have I never heard this?
It was terrifying, man. I almost died
That's
that
like
day.
the most important. That's like the kind of story you force into conversation, man. You don't just wait for that shit to come
No,
up.
like, I don't like talking about it because it freaks me the fuck out. I thought I was going to die that day, for real.
Yeah,
That's horrifying.
that's
really
real
scary,
shit.
So I don't
man.
go
That's
out of my
scary
way
as
to tell
hell.
that story because I don't like thinking about it. But that actually happened.
I'm
like-
glad you had the strength of will in that situation to do that action, because my reaction would have been to shit my pants and die, I think.
It was one of those, it was a primal moment where, like, I wasn't thinking or functioning anymore. Like, some lower part of my brain took over, and I wasn't there. And
Yeah.
thankfully, it helped me sort of block out how traumatizing that all was.
I had a surprisingly traumatizing moment too that is nowhere near as traumatic as that experience that you had. But it was weird because I blocked out the memory and didn't realize it until like 2 years later. But
oh man.
it was on. This is going to be so lackluster compared to how I just described it. Basically, what happened is it was New Year's, and it was very strange. And I guess New Year's is coming up, so this is I always when it's New Year's in New York, shit gets crazy. Like every New Year's has been
Times Square?
Every-
Nuts.
well, that yeah, but like, I've actually never been to that. But I mean,
Oh.
like just in general.
Wait, like you've never
everything-
been to Times Square at all?
No, I've been to Times Square, but I never saw the ball
Oh,
drop.
for like the New Year. Okay, yeah, I got you.
Because like the thing with the ball dropping is like it's cool and stuff, and like I would like to see it, but the thing about it is in order to get a good spot, you have to show up at like 6 a.m. on the day before New Year's, and then wait in the freezing fucking cold like for several hours, and it's a
Right.
terrible. Like I don't want to do that.
Leaving,
But-
too. Ugh.
Yeah, no,
Get
yeah,
stuck.
right, exactly. You're gonna just get trampled to death. But
It's like a tourist thing, right?
Yeah.
yeah, it is. Yeah, but anyway, so it was New Year's, and I was very drunk, and I was with my friend, and we were walking somewhere. I don't know, maybe to get more beer or something. I don't really remember, but so we're walking, and everybody's driving drunk on New Year's, and this car just drives up on the road, and like it just like kind of bumps the curb, and then flips completely over.
What?
Yeah, like
my
it's completely upside down, and the people inside are like, oh, "That's weird." And then this is the weird part about the whole story is no one freaked out. Everyone in that area, including a police officer, walked up to the car, pushed it over back on the right way up, and it drove away, and everybody walked away. Like nobody said anything to each other. That's what happened. It was so weird. And then I completely blocked that memory out for like 2 years until my friend reminded me of it, and I was like, "Holy shit! I forgot that fucking happened. I never even told the story."
Wait,
So-
so a cop by himself flipped a car over?
No, I
Well,
think
it's a bunch of
he got together with a bunch of other people, right? And they all
Yeah.
managed to push it over together. That would be fucking
Myself and my
RoboCop, dude.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Like that becomes a much better story when Rob says, and then fucking RoboCop shows up and flips the car over by himself.
Yeah, it was a wild time, but like I said, not as wild as your bear story. But for some reason, I blocked that memory out. I don't know why. Very strange.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've got a I've got a long, drawn out, and painful story to tell. If we're
Okay,
going that
please.
route.
Yeah, by all means.
All right. I don't know if I've ever told the story of my little river rafting trip with a buddy of mine,
Oh,
but
this could be good.
oh yeah, it's awful. it's really sad to think about. Yeah, this is a long one, so buckle up.
All right.
So we decide, a couple buddies of mine and I decide to go rafting down the Weber River, which is a very good river to raft down if you go in the right spot, and that's kind of ominous. So we go and we get like tubes from Big O Tires or something, because that was what we heard we were supposed to do. We go fill them up there, and we drive on down, and we park our car down at what's kind of the mouth of the river where we thought we would end up. And then we drive up in a different car and, start the whole voyage. So before we go, we had all gotten, like a water bottle and, like a pack of fucking crackers and cheese, because we were 6-year-olds living in 16-year-olds' bodies. And we start off, and we realize very quickly that the water that we were beginning in was about 6 inches deep and really wasn't facilitating any sort of rafting whatsoever, because of course as soon as you get onto the actual tube, you just sink to the point where you're kind of just grinding against stone on the riverbed. And that didn't go so hot, so we were just kind of, it was more like we were rowing against rock for the majority of the time. And then we eventually got to water that was, I'd say, probably like 1 to 2 feet deep. And then I took a big old swig out of the water bottle, which it turns out was filled with, well, beforehand it had been filled with some kind of miracle concoction made for bikers to use that was like a protein, like a compounded protein. And it had solidified on the bottom of the water bottle.
What?
So we didn't know it was there. Like we just take the water bottle and like you shake it around and it just feels like a water bottle. But then adding the water into it kind of, mixed it all up. And I took a big old gulp of water, and there was like what felt like seriously a pebble was lodged in my throat.
Oh my god.
It was like when you swallow water, you're not expecting anything like that, right? So it just goes right fucking through your esophagus. But that thing got lodged in there. And so just we're gonna preface the rest of the story with, and keep in mind there was a pebble of protein lodged in my throat. So let's just add that on as like a little flavor boost, right? So we're going on down, and we keep going in between patches of 1.5 to 2 foot deep water and pretty much just straight up shore. And it became clear to us about a quarter of the way through, because we'd kind of measured it out to kind of get an idea of how long it would take. It became clear to us about a quarter of the way through that we didn't pick the right spot in the river to actually go rafting. Like, we should have gone probably miles further west or whatever it was to get to the water that was raftable. But sadly, we had gone too far, right? We had committed up to that point, and we decided, well, all right, we're gonna see this through. We're gonna get to the end, and we're just gonna chalk it up to a bad decision. Mm-hmm. And so we come upon that decision together, and we get to probably about the halfway point, and we finally find water that's like maybe 10 feet deep, which is awesome. It starts to get kind of fun. And then we come to a rope, like a rope that was tied to a tree, and we were like, oh, awesome, this is cool. So we stopped there and we like do some rope swinging and stuff, and then it ended up being a really good time there. And then we would put our tubes up on the shore, and I try to throw mine back into the water, and it pops on a tree branch.
Oh boy.
So
Oh god.
it's like throw it up. It's not even like it's not like a. It's like a fucking kablam! Like fucking destroyed my tube, as if to say like it just like flipped me off as it disappeared into nothingness. And I was just like, well, that fucking sucks. Okay. And so I essentially shared a tube, or just kind of walked down the rest of the river. And as we left that area, oh sorry, I didn't realize I was holding up the show here. What do I even want to do? God damn, we're still playing Magic, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go like this. Let's do that to Nick. There we go. So yeah, as we start leaving that area, we turn around and we see that near the tree that we were swinging off of a rope from, we swear that we see a hangman's noose hanging from the tree adjacent
Jesus
to it.
Christ.
Whoa.
Like for real, legit hangman knot. Like kind of unmistakable. So I don't know. It's just no one ended up getting themselves hung or anything like that. It was just kind of weird to see that. But we keep going down, and we come to a fork in the river, which we had not anticipated. We thought it had all just merged into the same water flow, and we decided to go one way, which was, I believe, left. So we go left, and that river flow ends. So it just comes to a point, and then there's just no more water. So we're kind of screwed at that point. We say, okay, well, we don't really have any idea of where we are.
Nick. Oh.
What do you want?
Oh, jeez.
All right.
So, yeah, we come to the end of it, and we're like, oh, well, shit. We don't really know what to do. So we all get out, barefoot, shirtless.
Barefoot.
And we're just barefoot. Got it. I had to work a pun in there at some point.
That's important.
And we just start walking because we know where a freeway is. So we figure if we can get to the freeway, we can kind of follow that to where the car ended up being. And we have to walk through, I swear, is just this cacophony of stuff God himself has placed in as obstacles.
Nick, don't do that. Don't do that. Trust me. No, seriously, dude, don't do that or we're all gonna lose. For real.
Every single person in this call is gonna lose.
Yes, we
Oh, no.
All right.
You lost.
Nick.
We
Yeah,
literally
thanks
had
for
no other
losing
option
early.
once the card was already out.
I know. Well.
Thanks for losing everybody the game, Nick.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm more interested in hearing Bear's story, really.
All right.
Me too.
All right. Anyway, so it was just this absolute mess of everything that God and Satan had conspired to put in our way between the freeway and the river. It was like, the fucking burrs that you get like stuck to you all across your body, and I swear there were like Venus flytraps, and
What?
Thor, God of Thunder, was raining almighty hell upon us. But we get to the freeway after crossing through a fucking barbed wire
Oh
fence.
no!
Like it had like a few holes in it, so it wasn't really that bad, but still just like icing on the goddamn cake that was in the way, right? And so we get to the freeway, and we're holding two tubes, and I still have my deflated piece of plastic or rubber for whatever goddamn reason I decided to keep it. And we just look like the most pathetic mess of group of kids as we're walking along the freeway. We're not even trying to hitchhike. We're just accepting the fact that we're just fucking miserable. And we're walking along, and we finally get to what kind of turns off into a residential area. I'm going to quickly figure out what the hell I'm doing here. This is just kind of a war of attrition again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, goddamn, look
Well,
at this.
not really.
Yeah, okay, shit.
Green one, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Well, maybe
just kinda-
it looks like it right now, but I fully expect to lose because that's what always happens.
Yeah.
See what
So we come into a kind of residential area, and we do end up finding the neighborhood where we remembered we'd parked the car. And we find the car, and then we remember a very critical component of driving a car, which is a key, which we had left in the other car, and we didn't bring another one. And none of us had our phones. So that left us in a position of, well, we're bloody, we're wet, we have no shirts, no shoes, and we're carrying tubes, which is kind of a benefit to it. Like, without the tubes, we would look really fucking weird, but with the tubes, it's, it's, at least we have a reason. And we decide, well, best bet, we just knock on some doors and hope somebody answers. So we start walking looking for a house, and the first house we come across, a woman is working out in her garden, and she sees us, gets up, and walks in the house, and looks out the door right at us before shutting the door.
Wow.
So clearly she doesn't want to talk to us, but of course we just walk up there and we're like, hey, help, please help us. And turns out she was a really nice woman, and she provides a satisfying crescendo to the story. But she did end up just calling one of our parents, who brought a spare key, got the car going, and then we drove to a pizza buffet and just ate as much as our little bellies could hold.
I was imagining the next step here was that she was gonna call the police.
No, yeah. If fucking only, man. God, that would be great.
You just
end
wrote
that
like
whole
a
night in a
summer
jail
teen
cell.
comedy movie in that whole thing.
Yeah, really.
It's like basically, dude, where's my bear?
So yeah, that's our horrible river rafting experience story.
Jesus Christ.
And through that whole thing, you couldn't breathe properly because you had a chunk of
Right,
protein.
yeah, remember, yeah, the
Right.
icing on the cake, the fucking water bottle with protein chunks lodged in my throat. I really was, like, the entire trip, I was, like, having to lean over and just, like, hack up nasty shit
Oh,
over the raft the whole time.
That's horrible.
I'm just imagining exerting yourself, walking with the big chunks of plastic hanging off of you, and being like, "Oh, I can't even breathe."
Like, they make me talk to the woman at the house, like, hey, can we use your phone?
Well, I'm glad that worked out in a positive way, because I
Yeah.
guess at that
Yeah.
point, it almost seems like fate was trying to conspire to kill you.
Yeah, glad you're not dead there.
The tragedy has become comedy. That's all we can hope
Yeah.
for, right?
Yeah, on the upside, it sucked that day, but now you've got a ridiculous memory and a story.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Yeah.
It's like, Rob, I remember us having this conversation the other day. Like, life's all about just making stories.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
you do, like, the most ridiculous shit you can, so you have the most ridiculous stories to tell.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's whenever I'm like I don't go out much anymore, but when I did, that's the whole plan. I mean, that's why I go out on New Year's, is because crazy shit just always happens. Always. Every, like, at least, I mean, like, I've only, I guess, been going out for New Year's for the past, like, 6-7 years, I guess. Every single year has been a different, uniquely ridiculous and insane story of a thing that happened that was just like, yeah. But
The more people in your proximity that you get totally wasted, the more likely crazy shit's about to go down.
that's true. Yeah, that's
They're like
exactly.
modifiers to the variable.
Let's nerd that the fuck up, Nick. Jeez.
Yeah. The more shots they have, it becomes an exponent.
Alright. Does this thing have trample? Oh my god.
It's got
Yeah,
everything, man.
Flying and vigilant.
You know,
Shit.
yeah, flying in first
That's
strike, no trample.
That's Nick. That's why I said you shouldn't. Because if you didn't do that, that was dead, and then we would have all been.
Well, I
like,
diffused it the same turn or the turn before. And
Well, you
I
had the
thought
same thing.
you wouldn't have a second thing right then.
Yeah.
I had
no.
a second thing.
It didn't matter if he had a second thing or not, because he still had that double advocate of the beast thing going. So
Yeah, Bear might have
But-
flesh to dust or something though, which is why I'm taking him out next.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty much boned here. I probably could have done something the turn before this, but I was too busy talking.
mm,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh well.
yeah, it happens.
Also, I'm sorry, Rob, but you were the one who had the biggest chance of.
No,
destroying.
absolutely. I mean, I if Nick hadn't fucked me on that turn, that creature was dead. So, like, I worked out the math and everything. I had just enough to kill it. Like, I had 9 damage, because what I would have done is I would have done the 6 damage from the
Uh-oh.
Reclamation Surge, and then I would have done the 3 more damage to it, which would have been 9. And at that point, the double advocate of the beast, you only had a 9/9, and it would have been dead. And then, yeah, that's so GG.
You're lucky the math didn't add up.
Yeah, it would have been really hard to kill me with the Phytotitan because I have first strike.
Yeah. I think I honestly, because I'm okay, so I'm gonna do this anyway, so I'll just tell you. But we've got the spider spawning, which is gonna provide me with at least a defensive measure.
Yeah.
Is this my? Oh, this is my main phase. Okay, yeah. So I've got this,
Okay.
but like the thing is, I probably could have played that to a point where I kind of force
Where
your
you got
hand
a
in
lot of-
defending a whole
yeah.
bunch of stuff, and then yeah. So worst comes to worst, I'll just knock out a couple spiders over the next couple turns, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
But flying.
Yeah. No, they have reach. The
They have
spiders
reach.
have reach.
Oh, they have reach.
That's the
Okay.
whole thing, yeah.
Oh, it says it right at the bottom. I'm dumb.
Mhm.
All right.
I love this music. The music is good. That's like my one compliment, I guess.
In Magic.
Magic 2015.
It's
Yeah.
nice. It's good background.
Yeah. It's always been good. Every Magic game I've played has had a really good ambient soundtrack.
Yeah. It's not too, like, combat-y, like, war drums and, like, it's gonna blast in your ear. It's just kind of...
Yeah, it's like
chilled out.
Druid in the Forest kind of thing.
Yeah.
Druids are fucking weird, man.
They are weird.
Sorry to any
Fuck those
Druids out
guys.
there.
What a great statement.
Damn.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah. Oh, shit. All right.
Double
Here we go.
Titanic growth. Oh,
Uh-oh.
snap.
Making the plays, man.
Well, I'd probably be dead this turn or next turn, so I figure I have
Yeah,
to
worth
make
a go.
move right about
Mhm.
now.
Fuck. Okay.
I just figured that would not be part of your plans at all, so it might kind of throw you for a loop a little bit and maybe
Yeah.
disrupt the whole thing a little.
Oh, this certainly throws a God.
Monkey in
I
the
tried to use
wrench.
this expression before. The what in the
Monkey wrench
cogs?
in the
Oh, that-
ears.
That,
I
green?
hate that I have to do this because he has untapped land is the thing. He's probably gonna kill my creature, but I have
Maybe.
to do it anyway.
Uh,
Nope. Okay. Thank God. The gamble.
I was gonna say that it doesn't have trample, so you could have blocked it with
No,
anything.
his
Yeah.
had trample.
Mine had trample, but
Oh,
for
it was
some
the,
reason I
oh,
didn't
the
realize
magic
that
trample,
his
yeah.
had first strike as well.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. Damn, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So. Oh, I wish that was Bear that was playing that card. Oh well.
What is this fucking nonsense, man? You gotta cast a 5-mana white card to get rid of a fucking spider?
Hey man,
Has reach.
it's important.
All right, whatever, Green. You know you got it.
I tried, friends. I tried, and then
I'm not gonna
You
give
did
you the
try.
satisfaction of the overkill, though. If I can, what the hell? Why can't I block this thing?
I mean,
Why
as
did they block
much as you tried, but
You-
like,
all your shit is tapped except for your little spider.
I
just
thought
gotta
I
take
could.
it.
You tapped
could
out
I-
attacking me, remember?
Yeah, I know, but why can't I block the pack leader? That's what I'm wondering.
Oh, yeah, that. Oh, because it's attacking Nick.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Okay, yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Right on. I thought you were giving me the ultimatum.
No.
All right.
What a weird way to win second.
I,
Did
Yeah.
basically nothing this game.
well, except for fucking me over and giving Green the win.
See,
Wow,
that's
somebody's
how you
bitter.
Live, though. That's
I'm
how
just
you live.
saying.
Nick was never a threat all game, so I left him alone. I had to kill Rob because he could kill me through my creatures. I had to kill Bear
Yeah.
because he had black in his deck, which might have maybe done something.
Yeah.
Nick was just like, he has a green deck, so I know he basically can't do anything except attack me.
Yep.
Yeah, I had no
Yeah.
idea what deck you were going to come out with. I mean, honestly, I think my Death Touch deck would have done a lot better here.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
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 I
But
tried.
Rob, I mean, as much
Well
as you
played.
tried, like, I can't necessarily trust that just letting you do what you were going to do would necessarily benefit me in the long run, so I had to do
Yeah,
what
if-
would guarantee
well,
me to
but
move
If you helped
forward.
Rob probably would have won with his
I don't think so, because like here's the thing, like you had the angelic edict anyway. I
would have killed
I
you.
would have. Yeah, you like the Inferno Titan is easy to deal with because he doesn't have flying or anything like that. And I already had 7 life and was getting beat on by Green. I didn't need a second player to attack me at that point, so it pretty much lost everybody else the game. And essentially,
Why does it not send you back to the multiplayer lobby?
It's crazy, I don't know.
That's so
Absolutely
dumb.
Diamonds.
There's so many things like you can't change your deck while you're in the multiplayer lobby
Yeah.
anyway as well.
I guess that's
Like,
why, because
Yeah,
people
right, yeah.
change their deck.
you can change your deck.
Yeah, the
just-
lobby serves no function whatsoever. You can't do
those
anything.
kind of decisions that just make absolutely no sense to anyone.
I don't get it either. Like it's you know it's weird too is because I played a couple matches online in the last version, and what was kind of nice is if you played a guy that online and then you lost or you won or whatever, you could just be like, "You want to go again?" And
Yeah.
you would. Like you don't
Yeah,
have
exactly.
to go through the matchmaking.
Like,
again.
I could do that in the fucking
that.
Xbox Live game I was playing in 2012.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually remove features. They removed the two-headed giant matches, which we
Every
liked
year,
playing
they're
every
just
now and then.
taking out things one by one.
I think they have like the Madden bug where it's like, oh, let's take out features this year so that we can add them in later years and claim that they're features.
Dude, that's like the fucking menu at Red Robin. Take away the goddamn turkey, whatever it is, sandwich, and reintroduce it 6 months later. Like, new turkey club, yeah, limited time, you better buy it.
I used to exploit the shit out of Red Robin when I was in California, by the way. So, like...
I love that you have a story about that. Fucking only Rob would have a story about exploiting Red Robin in California.
Oh, I totally did.
I love that I've heard it before.
Yeah, me too.
So in California, now I don't know if they still have this program, but if they do, they're idiots. Because essentially they had this system where if you sign up for a Red Robin card, you get a free appetizer, or if your birthday is within the month that you've created the card, then you get a free entree. So what we would do if we were feeling hungry and didn't have a great deal of money, we would go to the Red Robin at the mall near our apartment in California, and we would go like, oh, I see you have those cards, right, where we could sign up for a Red Robin. Can we get those? And like, yeah. Oh, can we sign up right now? Is that possible? And they're like, oh yeah, sure, you could totally sign up right now. Just come back. They're like, oh, okay, sure, yeah, no, of course, no, we've never done this before. And we would just and we would go to the Apple store that was like 2 stores down, get on a computer, sign up for an account, and the thing is, you didn't have to show ID or use any kind of real name. So we would have like the most ridiculous names, like Farty McButt Sandwich, and
Owner Fart Troublemaker here.
Yeah, and we would go back. We would come right back in and get our free appetizers, each of us, and then go home. And it's funny because I think a couple of the waitresses knew what we were doing. And they didn't say, because it's not technically against the rules. It was just exploiting a system that was there, and like they would swipe the card and be like, oh, well, have a good day, Mr. Buttmaster, and and we get free food. It was great. We used to do it all the time. Now I don't know if they still work that way, but it's a real dumb system. I'll tell you that.
The employees must have really hated you for that. They probably never, said anything about it out loud, but I had shit like that happen at GameStop all the time, and it got so bad that I eventually would, tell people, I can't just let you do this. I know what you're doing. It's obvious. And they'd be like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, you were just here. You just did this thing 5 minutes ago. I'm not ridiculously stupid. Come on. They knew.
I had a manager.
I'm
sorry,
sure
go ahead.
knew. Sorry.
They some of them, like a lot of the time they would laugh or smile when we would give in our cards because they knew, and I don't think they gave a shit because
they were probably just like, yeah, fuck this job, we don't like it either.
Exactly. Like, oh, I get paid less than minimum wage legally, and the government taxes my tips. Red Robin could go fuck themselves. That's what I would feel if I were.
Hey, that's fair enough then.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
and you tip the waitresses, right?
Oh yeah, of course, obviously.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's the thing too. Is even though we were exploiting Red Robin, we were still tipping the waitress.
Yeah, I guess it's all the same to them then. So whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
There's no difference to them.
Yeah,
if you weren't tipping them, you'd be a piece of shit. But
yeah, for real.
You are, you're good.
No, of course that would be fucking dickish if we. Because that system's so dumb. Like, why are they one of the only professions that is allowed to make less than minimum wage? Not that minimum wage is even that fucking high anyway in this country. But, whatever.
Farm workers, too, right? If you hire underage kids, you can pay them under minimum wage, I thought.
What? Is it really? That's ridiculous.
I thought that's the way it was back in the day. There was, a chart that I had in the wall on the wall.
Yeah, everybody had that chart, right? It had that little side panel that was like, if you work on a farm, regular laws don't apply because you're
it did say stuff like that. And I looked at
put
that.
it up in my room to tell me what would happen if I didn't go to college.
Please tell me that actually happened.
No.
Oh, man. That's great parenting, man. I actually had speaking of Rob's story, I had a manager. I worked at Little Caesars. That was my first job when I turned 16. I got a card. I worked at Little Caesars. That was my life. And I was working in the... What's that?
Did you meet Caesar?
No, yeah. He came by once, but he was drunk.
Oh.
I was working in the pizza boxing area, and that's right behind the cash registers in the store.
That's exciting.
And
ding, ding.
This guy comes in, and he's been there a few times, and he's tried to game the cashier into giving him a free pizza because he'll be like, "Oh, this pizza was fucking burnt or some shit." He did it every week, and finally the manager comes out, and he's just fucking tearing him a new one. He didn't even give him a chance to explain himself because he'd seen him do this in person every week, and I don't know what it was, he just went off on the dude, and there were other customers in the store, but the manager was just straight up cussing the guy out, get the fuck out of this store, man, I'm sick of your shit. And he took the box and he threw it in the back of the store, and he was like, you're not getting any more food, get the fuck out of here. And I was like, dude, that's a weird way to express interest in customer retention.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, he just like went for it, man. And this guy,
That's
like, he
crazy.
didn't take shit, you know, like he was a cool dude to work for, but he like straight up just wouldn't give a fuck about things like that.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
That's what happens when you take your job so personally. Like that, someone offending the company offends you. Then you end up with those people that are like on the edge of cussing people out, and I've had it happen too, and it's a wild experience to see that. It's like all of a sudden, all the rules that you thought were in place about how cordial you need to be, it's like, who knows what's going to happen now? Are we going to start stabbing each other now?
But I think in his case too, though, like as a manager, doesn't like people gaming his system like directly cut into him?
Oh, yeah,
being
absolutely.
paid? So yeah, like
he had to take inventory. Like the first time I was on the cash register, I remember he was livid with me because I like had a discrepancy of $15 or something, like that little amount of money, and he was like
To
pissed.
be fair, that's
It was
kind of a
crazy.
lot.
Yeah, I mean,
It's usually like between like $1 and $3 is like, okay, that's like not that bad, but you. Really
I mean, I'm like relatively speaking though, it's like 3 pizzas. I was gonna be like, dude, I will give you $15. if
Right,
you
right,
start
right.
So mad at me.
that reminds me of a story of when my like okay, so I was at my dad's house and I spilled some milk on the table.
Oh, don't
by-
start
by
crying.
accident.
Ooh.
No, well, okay. Here's how the story ends. So he gets so mad. He's freaking out. He's yelling at me. He like, and then it gets really heated, and he like knocks me on the floor and pushes me down and shit. And it's just like, and then I'm like, you're literally crying over spilt milk. Like that's the saying. Do you not realize the irony here? Because it was really funny.
Yeah.
But you know.
That's scary.
Yeah, you
Oh.
know.
Shit, dude.
Well, you know, I don't talk to my dad for a good reason
Yeah.
anymore. So
Yeah, sounds
You know.
like it.
yeah, he's a big
All right, that's a good note to end the episode on.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Child
Donate
abuse.
to-
Go
donate
hug
to
your
a
dad.
hospital
See you
to
next time.
Make up for his missing father.
Bye, everybody.
Pizza,
Mondays and
pizza,
Fridays,
motherfucker.
new episodes.
See ya.
Later.
Bye, everybody.